I'm Naomi Hopple, and this is Vibrant Sunshine Behind the Scenes. Join me as I grow my organic cold-pressed juicery to the next level. Thanks for being here. Hello everyone, this is week 11 as I document my journey creating a new location for my cold pressed juicery and bringing things back together after many years of organic growth and disjointed operations. On April 24th, 2023, I purchased a building that is my dream location, and throughout the past 11 weeks, we have been working hard to get things up and running. I know from experience that the building phase can go by so quickly, and yet the problems that arise are always unfathomable. And when it's finally done, you just hit the ground running and you forget about it ever happening. So I'm enjoying chronicling this journey, and thank you for being here with us. By my estimate, we have about 6 weeks until the ribbon cutting, and then we will be open. This podcast has journeyed through the conceptualization of the need for a new location, the history of the business, where we are now and where we're going. I encourage you to go back and listen to the episodes, starting with episode 1. They're all pretty short, succinct. As a mom of 2 toddlers, that's about all I can handle on a weekly basis, and that's actually a big reason why I chose the podcast format. It's new, it's interesting, and to be brutally honest, I actually haven't read a book since my first child was born in 2020. I find that every time I have the opportunity to read, I sit down, settle in, and fall asleep. So I hope that this format serves you as well as it serves me. I am a lover of the written word, and I do consider myself a writer at heart. So this is a stretch for me, but I am enjoying the nuance. Typically with these episodes, I have chosen a topic, gone through the topic, and then at the end of the episode, I'll give a brief update of what's going on in Aspinwall this week at our new location. This week, I'm going to do things a little bit differently, and the majority of the episode is actually going to be an Aspinwall update with a little bit of general operations mixed in. It hasn't been the best week. There have been some real challenges that have presented themselves, and simultaneously, we've made some real progress. So I'm excited to share all of that with you. As far as construction goes, things are moving right along with the plumbing. The inspector for the plumbing department gave us his blessing, and we can move forward with sealing things up, which will really enable all the other building trades to get their work done. Electrical is underway. Now, the biggest issue is the health department reviewer actually is going to require us to have a grease trap that is far larger than we anticipated and in a different location, which means that we actually have to tear up more concrete and do more prep work than we had anticipated. It's the difference of several $1,000s, and it was really hard to swallow. Of course, we have the expectation that some things will come in over budget and the hope that enough things will come in under budget that they will balance each other out. This was a real issue this week, and Adam was at the forefront of it, dealing with an inspector who, when questioned, cited a section of the plumbing code that basically states that the plumbing department has the right to do whatever they want in the name of food safety. It was disappointing, and we could appeal his decision, but the reality is that appealing it would set us back an entire month, and we're at a point in our project where everything is tied on this and we have to move forward. So we had to do as this person says, and we have to make a more expensive decision that would, at the end of the day, do the same exact thing as what we were planning. And it's a tough pill to swallow, but there will be situations like this running a business. I actually heard a quote a little while back that resonated with me. It said, "Your business will grow to the level of the problems you can handle," which is so true. There will be problems, and if your blood pressure rises at every poke and prod, then your energetic level won't be high enough to get the things done that you need to accomplish throughout the course of a day. You have to be able to take those big punches in the stomach and breathe and move on. Figure it out. Find out a way to move forward. One of our team members who's been with us in the production kitchen as a driver for the past 2 years actually put in his notice this week, and that was another bit of a blow. Matt has been with us through the pandemic. He's been wonderful. We've really appreciated all of his hard work, and he has decided to go back to his previous employer where he worked prior to coming to the juice company. And it's definitely a different job than what we do out of our production kitchen. And of course, at the end of the day, we always wish the best for everyone in whatever they choose to spend their time and energy. Matt's been with us through the launching of our wholesale program, through the pandemic, through, thick and thin and the other stuff in between. And when we touched base after he turned in his resignation, he said, "You guys will be okay. You'll figure it out. That should be the company motto." And it was nice. Though I would venture to say that in any small business, that does have to be the company motto. Because at the end of the day, no one's going to figure it out for you. Anyway, thanks to Matt, and hopefully we'll see him around. On a positive note, something happened this week that we've been waiting years to see through. We were able to terminate a contract with our waste company that had become an extremely predatory relationship. It's a large company, Waste Management, that signs people up for a reasonable rate, but there's an escalation over the course of the years where, for instance, we signed up to have our waste removed for $350 a month, which is a big chunk, but that's the reality of a business when you're dealing with recycling and trash. And now, 2 years into the contract, they are charging us almost $700 monthly, plus offset fees of about $200 a month when some random people throw trash into a recycling dumpster that doesn't totally fit their bill. It's really incredible, really disappointing, and almost impossible to get out of these contracts because of the way they're lawyered together. Of course, if you call and you tell them that you want a break in the contract because you're paying too much, they'll be happy to sign you up for another contract that will escalate over time until you renew again. So they have a really good way of hooking people. And this time we waited it out and put in our termination at the exact correct time. And now we are working with a local company called Zero Waste Wrangler, who is composting the majority of our product, and also with a local disposal company, Vogel, who I have really high hopes for. So that is an exciting landmark that is hard to convey what a win it is. It's one of those small business versus big business fights that goes on behind the scenes that you would never even know about. I'm excited to interview Kyle, the one and only Zero Waste Wrangler, at some point. I actually suspect that once we open our store in Aspinwall, this podcast will turn into more of an interview format. But until then, I'm probably going to be doing these weekly updates. I hope that I'm adding some level of knowledge and interest to your day. And finally, we did hear back from our signage contractor, and they sent over a mock-up with a structural diagram. So probably not going to be up and running for the opening as we'd hoped, but the signage is going to be fantastic, and we'll have some temporary signage in the meantime. And even more exciting news, this past week, we worked with one of our team members who has ambitions of being our chef. And she put together a tasting with the written menu that we had compiled and brought our recipes to life. And they were, let me tell you, amazing. We had everything from a rainbow salad to a roasted vegetable panini. We have a signature Delafield salad with cinnamon apples, a superfood bowl. Really, everything about what Kirsten put together was impeccable. And I think it put some of us at ease that there's going to be some good stuff to eat at this new cafe that we're spending all this time and energy building. So like anything, we have some refinement to do, but once we have our solid base menu together, then we can start really having fun, like coming up with some specials and things like that too. And I have made great progress with our adaptogenic latte conceptualization. I now have a plan to batch our adaptogenic lattes, so they'll be ready to either steam for a hot latte or pour over ice. As for the house nut milk, it's actually turning into a house oat milk. And that experiment is going far better than I anticipated it would. And I will tell you that the trick to the oat milk is in the oats themselves. I had never actually eaten whole grain oats before, but that's the ticket for the house-made nut milk. Stay tuned. we'll have more information as all of this progresses. Now, a little bit on the personal side, it's been a very crazy season here in the Hopple household. My husband and my children and I all have our birthdays in the months of May and June. And as it turns out, so does O'Hara, our au pair who arrived from Brazil recently. During those months, of course, there's also Mother's Day, Father's Day, Memorial Day, and my mother-in-law hosts a giant event on the family farm back in Ohio that just took place over 4th of July weekend. So even though the 4th of July is still tomorrow, I am taking a big breath of relief, and I'm excited about being able to focus full force on juice and on Vibrant Sunshine Juicery Cafe. I do want to say that with this new location come many new responsibilities and many new roles. And over time, I've come to realize that I need to trust the universe, that the right people will come into the equation at the right time. So this is an invitation if you're somebody who's listening or somebody who's interested. We are growing our team. And if this is the sort of thing that interests you, we would love to work with you. In what capacity? I do not yet know. But please reach out. You can find me on Instagram, Green Juice and Yoga, or through Vibrant Sunshine Cafe. You can also email me at naomi@vibrantsunshine.com or leave me a message, a voicemail through the Spotify platform. Anyway, I'm going to go hang out with my kids. Have a great day.
Is it my birthday yet?
Oh, buddy. It's not your other birthday quite yet. Mwah. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to give us a follow at Vibrant Sunshine Behind the Scenes. You can find photos posted on my Instagram, that's Green Juice and Yoga, Naomi Hopple, and also on the Vibrant Sunshine Cafe Instagram.